If y'all can't tell by the way I talk, I am a hillbilly, right? So it's just like that's what's in me, but I listen to rock and roll, and then I was writing stuff that was like I guess faster paced or more like punk rock, and not like meaning to. It's just what I wrote.
This is Rob Ruckus.
Hey, this is Kate Clover.
Hey guys, it's Nick Collins here from The Effect and Better Strangers.
Hi, my name is Madeline Rose.
Hey, it's Ben McKelvey.
It's Tim Howard here from Mike and the Mechanics.
Hello, I'm Amanda Lehman.
I'm Billy Harvey.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Casey Sampson from the band Twist Stop.
Hey, it's Tony from Fastball.
Hello, everybody. My name is Isaiah Mitchell.
Hey guys, it's Matt here from the White Lakes.
You're listening to Almost Famous Magazine.
Come join us for this interview. Check it out, Almost Famous Magazine.
Hey everyone, welcome back to The Hang right here on Almost Famous Magazine. Thank you so much for checking out all of our great hangs with tons of different artists, bunch of different genres, and subscribing, sharing the channel. It's great to have you along on this ride. Now, I'm going to go slow on this name. This guest has the biggest band name we've had so far. So I'm going to go slow here. It's Johnny, Sam, Hall, and his Big Bad Wolves. But there's nothing to be afraid of. At least I believe so. This is a Nashville, Tennessee-based band. I'm going to be honest with you. They call themselves TrashBilly. That's kind of the genre that they have invented for themselves. Now, I was driving and put on this music. My face nearly melted off. I'm like, oh my God, this is country punk. This is like the stuff that you should be seeing at Punk Rock Bowling weekend in Las Vegas. I mean, this stuff is absolutely friggin' amazing. So, Johnny, welcome to The Hang. I'm so glad that you could join me today.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, you guys are onto something, man. I really enjoyed listening to your albums. And you've got what? You had one out in January of 23, and you just recently released another album. Tell us about it.
Right. Well, the first one, it was just a 3-piece. We did it to tape. So like single track guitars, nothing, too like produced. And in this record, there's 4 of us now, and it was the Pro Tools. So like we could add shit, take away shit. It's a bigger sound, bigger production.
Well, that sounds like that first album was super old school. If you went direct to tape, what was that experience like compared to your second album when you went into using Pro Tools so that you could make more fine tuning adjustments and record it to disc?
Well, the first album, it was like, we got to do it to tape. We got to do it like they used to do it. No metronome, just 3 guys in a room. And then you get that out of your system, and now you're ready to like see how big you can make it, so that's what we did the second time.
Yeah. And you said you added another member of the band. What instrument did you add?
He plays keyboards and like organ, synth, whatever. Wow. Anything with keys on it.
So let me ask you this. You invented the genre TrashBilly. How did you kind of, what was your thought process around that type of sound and feel for something that, you're definitely taking some country, you're definitely taking some punk, and some kick-ass rock and roll, and mix it all together? Like, what was that creative process like?
Kind of accidental. If y'all can't tell by the way I talk, I am a hillbilly, right? So it's just like that's what's in me, but I listen to rock and roll, and then I was writing stuff that was like I guess faster paced or more like punk rock, and not like meaning to. It's just what I wrote. And then like my drummer, I think is the greatest drummer in the world, Teddy Castellucci, and it's like he plays double bass and stuff, so that really adds to it. So it was kind of just by accident. We were just started out to be a rock and roll band, and then just what it's turned into.
Wow. What's the audience reaction to that? Must be amazing.
They all like it. They like it.
Is it one of those?
Sometimes we get told it's too loud.
Is it one of those things where you go to a show with one expectation and you get another?
Seems like it sometimes. Calls. We'll play with anybody, but I do like to think that we don't sound like anybody else. Yeah. Sometimes everybody likes it. Sometimes we get told we're too loud, but I don't know.
It's like saying to a drummer, "Do you have too many toms?" Right?
Right.
Well, let's go back in the time machine a little bit. I'm always fascinated to find out from a musician how it all started for you. So, did you find music, or did music find you?
Well, if we can actually go back to before I was born, my mom said that when she was pregnant with me, that I never moved until there was music around. Like when she would go to church and the band would start, I would move around and kick around and stuff, and then they would stop, and that was it. So I guess it's just the only thing I've ever been good at, you know. And then my dad bought me my first guitar when I was 2. And like my earliest memories are listening to music, wanting to be like that. And I didn't go to college or anything. This is like the only thing that I'm really good at. So I guess it found me.
Wow.
I guess.
Who were some of those early musical influences when you were 2 years old with your first guitar?
My favorite guitar player or my hero is Stevie Ray Vaughan. I'm looking at his poster right now, and I've got him tattooed on me. But that's my hero. That's who I've ripped and stole everything from. You know, it's just I'm not really a blues purist. I got more into rock and roll the older I got. But it's like if you break my solos down, I'm just ripping him off.
Well, is it what do they say that it's the greatest
imitation is the greatest form of flattery?
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Well, that's awesome. Who else have been some influences on you throughout your musical career?
Well, what really got me into like rock and roll, like more away from being a blues purist and more into rock and roll, was Led Zeppelin, of course, and The Doors. The Doors were one of my favorite bands. And then that just kind of turned into, and I mean, I'd always listened to it, but I was more into blues, and then it started to shift to where I'll still listen to blues now, but I'm a rock and roller, you know, or like Aerosmith. They were real big in my influence. The old rock and roll bands, the Marshall stacks turned all the way up. The older I got, the more I wanted to be like that, you know.
Kind of that wall of sound, right?
Right.
Yeah. So, you've had the band how many years now? When did you start it? And was this your first band, or what's your musical career been like?
Well, I'm from Virginia, and I'm from the Appalachians in Virginia, and I had some bands there, but like really, I love where I'm from, but unless you play bluegrass, there's no music there. You know, so I had to come here. And this is my only Nashville band that I've been in. But we formed in about 21, had some member changes and stuff, you know, trying to settle into a band, and really started to take off in 22. Like, do something with it, you know, being able to figure out what the hell we was trying to do.
Yeah. What studios did you record in the Nashville area? What studios you use?
Both the records we recorded at Welcome to 1979. They were both engineered by Jeremy Bernstein. Um, and I really like him as an engineer because he will make you only as good as you are. Like he'll do whatever you want to, and if it's not good, that's on you. So he's really neutral about it. I mean, if he's like, I don't think we can do it, I don't think you should try it, right? But he can record a tape or the Pro Tools or whatever you want to do, he'll do it.
Cool. What tell me about the new album. I was driving down I-35 from Dallas to San Antonio, and picking up tracks and listening to things. Tell us a little about like some of the highlights of the album, some things that for those of us who haven't purchased it yet, which everybody should. What are some of the highlights of the album? What are your favorite songs or standout moments, do you think?
Well, the album, it's not really a concept album, but it kind of has a theme, and it's supposed to be the theme is like if you heard an album in the middle of a fever dream, like when you're half awake and nothing makes sense, and like the TV's on, but it's like you're hearing stuff. Um, so that's like there's a lot of old movie samples. I think that is one thing that makes us stand apart is we use a lot of old movie samples. I watch a lot of old movies, and if I like something, I'll write it down and then go back and clip it later. Um, but I think all of our favorite song from the record is the first one, which is Annetta Corso. That's all of our favorite, I think. at least in the top 3 for the rest of the record. You know,
what makes it your favorite? What is special about that song?
it goes 1,000 miles an hour. You know, and like there's a big halftime breakdown at the end, and it's got some of the best samples and some of the best solos, and there's like a big bass synth that's in the whole thing, and you know, some hidden tracks that like you feel more than you hear. It's one of the most produced ones, like really fine tuned with where the level set of everything, and you know, exact like where the bass drum's real busy, so like the kick triggers and picking out the right triggers for it, and it was a lot of beating our head against the wall, hair turning gray, trying to make sure that it sounded exactly like it should. You know.
It's nice. Do you have another single coming out anytime soon?
No, since the record is out now, we're producing music videos. We got a music video that's about to come out, and we'll do the music videos for all the singles that had come out, and that's about where we're at with it right now.
So what music video is coming out, and when can we expect to see it?
We shot a music video for Paranoid Trust Fund, which is the fifth or sixth track from the record, somewhere in there. It was the 3rd single, and it's coming out sometime in December, probably the 13th is when we're thinking.
Great. Now, are you guys on an independent label, your own label? Where do you stand in the kind of the world of music today, where you know you're either major label, you're down here, and there's this weirdness in between, right? Where do you guys stand in that, and what are some of the things that you've been doing to kind of rise up, build your audience, and get noticed?
We're self-funded, self-released, all independent. We keep our Instagram up. We keep our TikTok up, kinda, but I'm not as good with TikTok as I am with Instagram. So we post to Instagram and sponsor the ads, and you can pick where you need it to be sponsored. So I mainly sponsor it so it's Tennessee and like the states around it. Cause yeah, I want people in Oregon to hear us, but I really need people here to hear us. You know, as if I had my druthers on who to pick. And then I'll make little ads when the album was coming out or something, and like put old movie clips together and distort it and make it interesting, and then boost it. You know, it's a lot of social media elbow rubbing, or trying to.
Yeah. What about playing out and touring? Do you have any plans to take the band on the road?
Yeah, we're trying to take it out on the road sometime next year. This past August, we went to Missouri and played a big car show, and that was one of the best shows we ever played.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see you guys. I mean, they just released the punk rock bowling weekend lineup for next year, but I could see you guys playing at something like that, and probably people just going ape shit over it. I mean, it's really if you're a fan of punk, and I know that a lot of punk fans watch us, we've got some great punk artists on. You gotta try out this music. Like, you gotta get your ear on it. What are the best places that people can buy your album from? Do you guys have a website, or do you just sell it digitally? Anyone get vinyl if they want it?
You can find it on Spotify, you know, the regular Spotify, Apple Music. You can buy it on iTunes, or it's on any streaming platform, whether it's like renting it or buying it. You know, you can buy stuff on Amazon. It's all digital, but you can get it from Tidal or Deezer, or all the obscure ones. It's all on everything.
Any plans though to have physical vinyl out? I mean, I got a niece who's 16 or 14. She's collecting records like crazy. I mean, everybody's loving vinyl these days.
I'm planning on it. It's just there's so much overhead. You know, I would probably try to do a pre-order first, because I guess that's why vinyl's so expensive. You know, because I mean, it costs more to make a vinyl than it does to like sell a CD. Like, what you would sell a CD for is what you have to put into making the vinyl. And I live in an apartment, and I've got to find the room to put the big boxes.
There is space consideration for
right.
Sure. Hey, in your career so far, you know, I think one of the things in these chats that we do and hanging out, I always like to learn lessons. So what's one of the most valuable lessons you've learned as a musician so far in your journey?
Never pay for anything up front, ever. Cause then the motherfucker won't do it. And you got to get on him about it. That's the biggest one. I would tell anybody that.
Well, now you got me curious. What experience brought that about?
Well, I won't say any names or too much about it, but I was needing something done, and he sweet talked me into paying for it up front, and I did, and then I waited 9 months, and that was like 9 months of me like on him every other day about it, you know. Um, and I think if I just paid a deposit and then paid the other half when he was done, I wouldn't have that problem.
No, totally. It would have given you opportunity
Right.
to make some other decisions for sure. Life in general is a series of like small bets to get to a big outcome, right?
Right.
I'm always interested in a risk or a bet you made and you thought it was going to turn out great, but it didn't turn out how you expected. And then maybe one that you didn't think it was a big bet, but then suddenly you got a great reward out of it.
Well, when I moved to Nashville, I moved by myself. I didn't know anybody. You know, it was the first time I'd left home. I was 20, and I moved out here, and I didn't know anybody, and I was living by myself. And since it's Music City, I thought it would be way easier to form a band than it was. So like it was kind of a lot of going to music stores, trying to meet people for nothing till, the following year. And plus, I mean, I moved in the middle of COVID. I moved in 2020. So there was nobody anywhere, but I mean, it's worked out good now, and I'm glad I've got the band that I've got and that I had to wait for them. But I think that was I thought I would move here and then immediately meet people. And it was not like that at all.
Yeah, it's crazy. You think about it now that COVID was almost 5 years ago.
Right.
We're all locked up and nobody saw one another and life is totally back to normal. But it's like so far in the rearview mirror. Like, how did that even happen?
Right.
What if you had a chance to get in the studio for one day? You get one day. You get to choose one person to be creative with, right? Make some music. Who would that be and why?
Dolly Parton.
Why? I got to hear the story.
I mean, I just listen to a lot of country music, and I think she's an inspiration to everybody. I go to Dollywood a lot. If the one person like Jack White did a lot of stuff with Loretta Lynn, if I could do that with Dolly Parton, I'm already there. I'd be there yesterday if I could.
Well, the good news is people watch these, so you never know where the phone call. If the phone rings and it says Dolly, buddy, you better pick it up. That's a must do. Oh, I lost my train of thought, dude. You got me with Dolly Parton, and she's like works so many. She's so great. When you're not performing your own music or trying to write yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes in life we just like a little comfort food, right? We like a little grilled cheese and tomato soup, right?
Right.
And we might, perform our music in one genre, but when we just want to listen and enjoy, we listen to something else. What's kind of your comfort food music for you to listen to?
It kind of depends. I go through, I guess, phases of listening to this, and with streaming, you can listen to anything. One thing that I listen to consistently, I don't know if this counts, but I listen to a lot of audiobooks. Like, I don't listen actually to as much music as I do listening to books. And I listen to a lot of Stephen King.
Do those books influence your writing?
I think so. I mean, I like horror movies and stuff, and I mean, it's Stephen King. So, and I think I don't write like horror elements or anything, but I do write a lot of like darker lyrics, and I think that probably has something to do with it, about like inner turmoil or something. unhappiness, whatever. And he has a lot of that in his books.
So could we expect you to become like the Rob Zombie of TrashBilly music?
Maybe. I do like Rob Zombie. So.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Where do you find, I mean, is all your inspiration found in other art when you're writing? Is it just out in life? Like what resonates with you, or things that resonate with you to say, wait a minute, I need to make a note. I need to remember this. And this is going to be what I write about.
Like with the movie samples, if I'm watching an old movie or an old TV show or something, and they say something, like with the TV show, I'll look at what episode it is and I'll write it down and like the timestamp and stuff, so I can go back and find it. But like when it's listening to music, since all music is just stealing from somebody else, like I'll hear something, even if it's a production thing, and be like, I need to do that. Let me write that down. Do that, put that in somewhere, or I wish I would have thought of that, or I like how they did this, but I would do it different. Let me write that down. But with lyrics, it's kind of just, I'll think of something and then I'll think of something else and then I'll think of something else and, make it rhyme or figure out the format that it needs to go. And sometimes the lyrics come before the music and sometimes it's vice versa. Like the lyrics to Annetta Corso started when I was 19 and it was the chorus. And then I was actually to a country song I was trying to write and kicked it around and I couldn't do anything with it until this year, and I'm 24 now. So, it kind of just fell together over time.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, music is, writing's an evolution, right?
Right.
I was talking to somebody here on the Hang a couple of weeks ago, and he put out his first solo album, but most of the songs were written about 12, 15 years earlier. So
yeah, that happens a whole lot.
Yeah. Now, what about, so you just had in September, you had your album out, you got some music videos coming. Have you started writing for a new album yet? What's going on there?
Yeah, so we're almost into next year, but starting in January, we're going to start kind of working on some new stuff. I mean, I'm always writing. Like, I've gotten better at it. Like, as the band goes on, it's not as hard for me to write as it used to be. But I'm always writing, just so when the time comes, I'm not like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I can just pull the songs out. But and I mean, we're in no hurry to release anything. Plus, that costs a whole lot of money, right? This record ain't even cold yet. But so we can really baby it, if we start working on it now. And so we have 18 months to finish the record. We're not in any hurry or cutting corners so we can get it done. We could just baby it and until we're all happy. So.
Yeah. Tell us about your band. Who's in it, and what do they bring? Like you said that you early on you had to you mixed up players a little bit. Some people came, some people went. You've landed on a band that works for you. Tell us about these guys and what they bring to the band and how they enhance what you write.
So Teddy has been the constant besides me. Like since the beginning, it's always been me and him, always. And then I won't get into like who was there at the very beginning. I mean, that was like a 5-piece and it was 4-piece and then it was a 3-piece and it was 4-piece. But like when we started figuring it out, it was 3 of us and it was Chris Marziliano who played bass and he's not in the band anymore, but that's who we recorded the first record with and the second record actually. So we were a 3-piece for a while and then we added, Daniel Cook, who is a piano player, and it really helps fill it out. You don't realize something's missing until, it's not missing anymore. And now if we have to play the 3-piece, like if he's got a session or something, it sounds empty in a way that we didn't think it sounded empty before, but now it does, But now Chris Taylor plays the bass. What I really like about them two is they're fantastic players. But they always play to the best of their ability, but like they're not set in their ways. If I'm like, Danny, will you play a synth instead? Sure. Pulls up synth. I'm like, I wrote this song to have a synth instead of an organ part. or a bass synth or like a high early 80s sign synth. He'll just pull it up, and Chris will, if I'm like, I don't think I like that. All right. Or, they're pretty open to anything. And I mean, I try to be pretty open too, even like it's my band, but I'm not a drummer. I'm not about to like lord over him playing drums. He knows what he's doing. I don't know what he's doing.
There's probably an Instagram meme in that statement you just made somewhere. Maybe that's when you and the guys can put together a meme. Well, how do you? It's interesting because going from an analog album recording to a digital album recording, and where we are in the industry today with so much opportunity to literally pump some stuff into a website and create music. How do you feel about the difference between the music coming out of you, through the guitar, onto the page, versus prompt hacking an AI site to create something musical? Like, have you experimented with that? And what are your thoughts? Because it's the interesting thing is you went from analog to digital. Have you embraced all that digital brings to the table?
No, I mean, we won't even use, or like, I won't even use amp sims. Like, doing demos that only me and the band would hear fine. But like anything that we release, it's got to be a real amp in a room turned way up, So it's like, I've never used AI. Like the only thing with AI that I've ever done is in one of the teaser ads for the record coming out, it shows a wall of TVs at the beginning. That was AI. And that's the only thing. Like the rest of it was all me putting it together and clipping it and making sure that it fit and flowed. Or I've never used Chat GPT or whatever it is to write any lyrics or anything like that. Yeah. And it's like, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, it's incredible. A buddy of mine, sound engineer, was he goes, I want you to listen to these tracks. Tell me who you think this is. Who's singing on these tracks? I'm listening. I'm like, that can't be Michael Hutchence, because he's been dead for a very long time. The lead singer of INXS. I'm like, that just can't be, but I swear to God that it's a voice. And he goes, I put all these different seeds into the track. I give it like 4 bars, an idea for the lyric, and it created the whole rest of the thing. And it's crazy. Like, I couldn't tell that it wasn't musicians and a real singer. It was nutty. Mm-hmm. That was just.
I mean, that's how the new Randy Travis single is, where he had the stroke and he can't sing anymore. His sound engineer and producer like analyzed his old vocal tracks, got a demo singer to sing it, and then laid it over top of it. But it's still released as a Randy Travis song. And it's like, I might be old fashioned, but I don't know how I feel about that.
I wasn't even aware of that. I'm gonna have to check that out. That's super interesting. So you're more of a gear guy. You're like, give me a good amp, give me some analog pedals, right? And a dirty sound. So from a gear standpoint, what do you play? What's your favorite amp, and what are some of your favorite pedals you use?
My favorite guitar that I play all the time is a Gretsch White Falcon. It's got to be the single cut with the thick body. It just does. I used to play a Mesa dual rectifier, but that was a whole lot to carry around and a whole lot of volume. And then I discovered that if you take a Vox AC-15 from the 90s, when they were made by Korg, and just put a distortion pedal into it, it don't sound like a little amp. It sounds like a big amp, and it's way easier to load in, and the sound guy's way happier, which means he'll turn me up when I ask to be turned up. And then, like, I don't have a crazy pedal board. I got like an overdrive and like a delay, and a wah, and a tuner. But that's for everybody else's benefit, because sometimes we can't hear ourselves play, but they can. So that's for their benefit.
Cool. No, that's a great guitar you got there. I mean, seriously, everybody, you've got to check out Johnny Sam Hall and his Big Battles. This music, it may melt your face off, but it's gonna melt into your ears and into your brain. And you're not gonna stop listening to it. It really is that good. It's got some country, it's got some punk, it's got some rockabilly, at least from what I'm taking out of it.
It does.
And it really just feels like a great album. Everybody watches the Hang With Us knows that I'm super big on purchasing and supporting artists. Buy their music. Yeah, you can buy Johnny Sam's Hall's album, or you can get Johnny Sam's Hall's album streamed. But go to Apple Music, go to a site that you can buy it, take it with you so you don't have to listen to it online. Find yourself a place, sit down and immerse yourself in the album. Support the band. Hopefully you guys start doing some merch at some point. You get a merch shop up.
We do.
You got a merch shop up? Okay,
yeah.
We'll make sure we put a link down below. You've got a show coming up in Nashville in December. If you're in the Nashville area, please go out and see this band. With that said, I always like to kind of wrap things up with sharing music with other people. I think it's super important that we talk about the influences of our lives, the things that we enjoy, the music, the artists, whether they may be someone that is commercially successful or they've got couple albums out by themselves and you don't know about them, but you think they're just really super cool. Who are some albums, artists, or key records that you go to like right now that you'll leave this and you'll go say, hey, I'm going to go listen to some music. Who are some people that you're really into right now?
My favorite singer of all time is Waylon Jennings, the country singer. I would say his record, Are You Ready for the Country from 76, Queens of the Stone Age, especially the song for the Deaf Era. I love all their stuff, but especially the song for the Deaf Era from 2002. That's one of my favorite albums of all time. I've been listening to a lot of Tiger Army again. My favorite record is Music from Regions Beyond from 2007. They're like a psychobilly, not quite country punk. Calls are from California, but not country punk. It's kind of got the twang to it and the real fast. And I listen to a lot of the Fabulous Thunderbirds too. We sound 1,000 years away from what they sounded like, but I do listen to a lot of the Fabulous Thunderbirds.
See, I think that's one of the great things about art, right? You can, whether it's music or art that you hang in your home, or photography or whatever, you can enjoy so many different genres, even though your genre that you create may not be it.
Right.
Like you get all that great influence. And I think that's fantastic. I think you guys got a lot of huge potential to go places. I really love the album. Everybody, you gotta check out Johnny Sam Hall and his Big Bad Wolves. Check him out live if you get a chance. Maybe next year they'll be on the road. Maybe if I'm lucky enough, I'll be in a city near you, and we'll get a chance to meet in person, and I'll get to hear you guys live. But meanwhile, go out, get their music. Johnny, this has been a fabulous opportunity to get to know you, get to know the music a little bit, and I really appreciate you spending time with us. And as your career grows, I look forward to hanging again some other time down the road and get to know even more about the progression of your career.
Cool. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks for joining me today. Everybody keep subscribing. Hit that little button, that little bell down below. You know how to do it. You hear it in every video. Hit the little button. Share these with your friends. We cover a lot of different genres, a lot of different styles of music, and we got some really incredible stuff coming up that really is going to knock your socks off. Some great artists down the road. So thanks so much for joining us, and we'll catch you all soon on The Hang. Bye for now.
Three, two, 1, 0, and lift off.